everybody. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching Barry, Season 4, Episode 5, Tricky Legacies. It's been about 10 years since the previous episode.
I think it was 8.
This says roughly 10 years.
Oh, okay.
They did say 8 about something else. I don't know, like maybe they were somewhere else in between.
Well, it said, because Jean's been missing for 8 years.
Yeah, so I don't know. They are living in the middle of nowhere, Barry and Sally, and their names are Clark and Emily, and they have a son named John. And they are basically just like going about a quiet life.
It looks awful.
It does. And, well, Barry is...
He's thriving.
He loves it. He's teaching John all kinds of stuff. But like about the presidents, like we saw in
Abe Lincoln specifically,
which is whatever. And Sally is working as a waitress, and she's wearing a wig, which I almost feel like she insisted on that.
Yeah, I think she probably really enjoyed this at first because it's just like a forever long acting gig.
Acting 100% of the time.
But I think that starts to eat away at her because then it's like she has nothing to really release.
Yeah.
So
also, I guess he is their actual son.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, man.
How
did he convince her?
Well, and they both have wedding rings on. So I think they got married.
Well, I think that's part of their cover. I imagine they're still in witness protection, no? Or is this just like they've done this?
I think they've done this. I think when the hoopla happened at the jail and Barry was like, bye, they are on the lam.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's tricky.
Yeah.
I don't know where they are either.
I don't know.
Texas or like the Oklahoma Panhandle or something.
I don't know. Somewhere very flat.
Yeah. Super flat and deserty. The thing is that like Barry actually seems like a pretty good dad.
Yeah.
He's like trying so hard not to make the same mistakes that were done to him.
Yeah, except John wants to play baseball.
Yeah.
And so Barry scares it out of him.
I think it's just so that they don't interact with people. But I get it. Yeah. And at one point, because Sally's wearing this wig, John asks the boy that I guess lives closest to them if his mom wears hair on top of her hair.
It's a fair question.
It's a fair question. So she's working as a waitress at like kind of just like a regular kind of diner, small town diner. And the woman that works with her seems fun, Gina.
Yeah.
She seems like, one of those small town broads.
Yeah.
And
that says conscious instead of conscience.
Yeah. Oh, you could see Sally die inside when she said it too. And then there's a guy named Bevel who works there too, who just apparently is like out and proud, jerking off to Sally all the time, like enough that Gina knows about it and tells Sally.
Ugh.
And then I really thought Sally was going to sleep with him.
Me too. I was not expecting her to fucking choke him out instead.
Wow.
Yeah.
They go to dinner or like whatever.
They go coffee. Have drinks. This fool was drinking a Nesquik at a bar. What are you, with a straw? I mean, what?
With a straw?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yuck. And they go into the bathroom and they start making out and then she like immediately starts choking him so hard that he like actually is fearful and he goes to pull her hair and her wig comes off and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he just was like, I won't tell anybody. But then she also frames him for stealing from the till, even though she's the one that did it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of love Sally. Like, she's despicable, but I love her.
Yeah.
She's so interesting.
She really, everyone on this show is so interesting. And she's just awful.
Yeah.
But I like get it.
No,
at
for
the
sure.
Same time.
Yeah. And so then like her and Barry every night are just like, they have dinner with John, usually with no lights on.
So weird.
That was bizarre. Like it's like it just started getting dark during dinner and they didn't turn any lights on.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then they sit in the living room and watch separate things with earbuds on their laptops. And he's watching stuff about Abe Lincoln again. And she is watching
Just Desserts.
Yeah, Natalie's show, Darcy Carden's show, which is so dumb and apparently has been on this whole time.
Yeah.
So at least 8 seasons.
Defined a generation.
And it's being quoted at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Or
the State of the Union.
My bad, the State of the Union. Because Sally's watching, like, the finale, like, wrap up or whatever. And Natalie is also kind of terrible because she's telling the girl who was, a kid on the show, like, you were so bad, we almost fired you in season 2. But then you got better, and yikes. And that's when Sally gets a Google News alert for Barry Berkman. And it turns out that Gene has resurfaced. He's been gone this whole time. We still don't know what happened to Leo, if he's okay. But he's been gone the entire time, and he's resurfaced to go to Warner Brothers because he wants to consult on a Barry Berkman biopic. So that's what I'm thinking, where, like, the Barry stuff is taking place 10 years in the future, but maybe that Gene meeting was 8 years in the future, because it takes a while to, like, actually greenlight stuff like that.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, could be, like, to the point where there's going to be a Google alert for it.
Yeah.
That, I think, maybe.
We also got a Ding Dong Ditch.
I think it was just the kids.
Right, I'm saying. So, but Barry and Sally, like, freaked out. Yeah. And then Barry gets up and takes the gun out of a hole in the wall. Like
just looks like a punched hole in the wall.
Yeah.
I'm like, get a little saw. Get a drywall saw.
You can just make it really nice and clean.
Make a hole. It's
Google
fine.
it. It'll be, like, look it up on YouTube. You live on there anyway while you're looking up your Abe Lincoln stuff.
Yeah.
But so he goes and he stands out there all night. And Sally and John are, like, sleeping in the bathtub. And it's like, I'm curious what they've had to deal with up until that point, that that is a natural response, like, for them.
Routine. Yeah. They also order a lot of stuff online,
then do they return it? Because it looked like him and John were putting the packages back out on the front stoop.
I don't know.
Because he was like, well, that's all of it. And there was, like, all these packages on the stoop.
Maybe, but why?
To get their money back?
I mean, maybe, but why?
They don't have any money,
I guess.
So they get what they need out of it, and then they return it.
Oh, that seems like more trouble than it's worth.
Right? It's just, you gotta repackage it.
That's why I sort of thought that they were still in some kind of witness protection, because otherwise, how did they, like, afford any of this?
Well,
because it doesn't seem like Barry's working.
No. So I don't. Or maybe they're doing the thing where they, like, buy stuff from Amazon and then resell it on, like, their own Amazon store.
Maybe. Although Barry must have money stashed away somewhere from all of the
and I mean, the house that they're living in, it's not tubular.
It's like a double wide.
Yeah, but it's like, it's something specific that there you go, that, like, you just kind of, like, do it. Like, I'm not doing a very good job explaining myself, but it's like everything's just kind of, like, in there. You just kind of, like, show up, and it's just like that. And then I think, like, on certain, like, parts of land, you know, whoever owns the land gets some kind of deal if you just, like, plop stuff on it sometimes.
Maybe.
So it probably isn't very expensive. And I mean, how do they have internet?
I don't know.
And then
it's hard to get good internet at my dad's house. And, like, it's West Virginia, but, like, there's a town close by.
Yeah, well, and then, but, like, what's the account name under? How do they have driver's licenses? It has to be
Clark and Emily. Well, Barry's got hookups all over for stuff like that. He would easily be able to do that. That's why I think they have to still be in witness protection.
But that deal would be null and void, though, because all those people are dead that he was working with to protect him.
Yeah, but that wasn't Barry's fault.
Right, but he left.
Well,
because he later days, so they are going to be like, nope, because he didn't turn over, he didn't fully, like, they didn't get their guys, so then the offer's off the table. They are not going to let him be safe if they're not going to get all the dudes.
You're right. I don't know then.
I don't know either.
Super weird.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to touch on. Well, Barry finally told John that he was a soldier.
That he definitely changed some of the details.
Yeah, he did.
He was a medic instead of a sniper.
Yeah.
And he did not kill all of those people.
He did, though.
Yeah, like hella dead.
Yeah. And they were watching church at one point.
Oh, yeah. And Barry's been, like, told him the story of the 5,000, and we have to take care of God's land. And
yeah, what the? I don't love that Barry got so Jesus-y in the last few years. Like,
I mean, it's his attempt at being good Barry.
I feel like good Barry is agnostic. Good Barry should be agnostic.
He's well, Old Testament stuff makes people like Barry kind of feel better about what they do because that's where all the killing and righteousness happens.
That's fair.
So he's selling it to himself. Well, I'm not bad because those people did it. Yeah. And as long as I'm doing it for the right reason, I will be absolved of my crimes.
I think, too, Barry has too much guilt about his time in war because that is, like, you should have guilt about the people you killed for money.
Right.
Not the, I mean, you could feel a little guilty. None of those people should have died, but
you should feel bad about killing your friend that you served with.
Sure. And I just feel like killing in war is sanctioned and like that is not socially unacceptable. Like we allow that as a society because it's war, despite whatever, you know, misconceptions we get into wars about. But like, I think he has too much guilt about that because that's why he changed that story multiple times. He's done it multiple times now, changed that story. And I think that's very odd that he should feel so much guilt about the killings that were sanctioned and not any seemingly about when he was an assassin.
I think that he feels guilty about all the innocent people that he killed in that moment because he thought he neutralized a threat or like because Albert got shot or whatever. And so he was neutralizing that threat, but then it was like, while I'm already here, I'll just kill everyone else in the house. So that's what he feels bad about because there was like women and kids, I think.
No, I get it.
So
for sure.
that part of it, I don't think he gives a shit about like killing the other soldiers or the, you know.
But to me, it feels like he also doesn't give a shit about when he was a mercenary.
Yeah.
Which is odd. It's just odd.
I'm wondering if it's because if the war stuff takes precedent because it's like this is when this was like the start of it all.
The turning point.
Yeah.
Could be.
And he was like, I was made into a weapon because I was good at it, not because I wanted to. And then I just kept doing it because everyone kept telling me how good I was at it.
Maybe.
So it's just like he's holding on to that too tightly where he should be feeling bad about all the extra stuff. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. And then basically after Sally gets the Google alert, he just like looks at her and says, I have to kill Cousineau.
Oh, and she screamed Barry. She did. And John was like, who's Barry?
So I guess he's gonna try to kill Jean.
Woof.
We'll see. That's the thing about Jean, though. It's like, you could have come out of hiding and just kept your fucking mouth shut.
No, but it's Jean.
I know, it's crazy.
He has 8 to 10 years worth of not drawing attention to himself, so he needs that hit. He's fiending, Kristen.
I know he is. It's weird. It's super weird.
Is it weird? Okay, you don't like being in the center of attention.
No.
It is so addicting. It's great. I mean, I wouldn't do that. Yeah. I am not on Jean's level, but like, it feels good.
Nah.
It's nice.
Nah. No thanks. No thanks. So yeah, that's basically it. We didn't have any Fuchs or NoHo Hank in this episode.
No, but they were both credited.
And so was Jim Moss as well. But yeah, not a ton to say. It was like, God, that life looks so boring. Not even like a movie theater. Can't even go to the
disgusting.
movies
I would
or whatever.
Waste away.
And Sally is also gulping wine.
Yeah. I mean, who among us? Yeah. Fun little story. Husband Will reached out to was she a costume gal?
Yes.
About the sweater that NoHo Hank was wearing in the last episode.
Like 2 episodes ago, I think. Yeah.
And she got back to him and like told him what it was, and so he was like, "The show's so good, we're so excited, like we love NoHo Hank." And she goes, well, "Wait until you see NoHo Hank in the future."
Yeah, so we are very excited. I think that blue and orange thing was
doing it for
incredible.
Us.
So, yeah. So we will be back next week. Let us know what you think. Like and subscribe, and that's it.
Bye.
Bye.